answer, I heard it before. I heard you before. You said it before. I'm not interested either. You know? So therefore, I said, therefore, even though the speaker says the Dvar Torah again, and you've heard it before, nevertheless, listen and compliment him for it. At least it's a good Dvar Torah.
No. Heard that before.
Yud Zayin Kislev, Sunday the 15th of December. David Moshe Blau. The Chanukah candles illuminate the darkness of golus. This week's Torah Way has been sponsored by family Grunfeld, Nishmas, Maschaya Bas Reb Chaim Aleha Shalom.
Must be his brother.
Interesting to say, you see in a lot of Sfarim that there was a connection between Chanukah and Golus Edom. The Nes of Chanukah came in the time of Golus Yavan. Right? In the time of Golus Yavan, there was 4 Goluyos. We have Bavel, Poras and Madai, and then Yavan. And after Yavan comes the 4th Golus Edom. Even the Nes of Chanukah comes in Golus Yavan. It has something to say about Golus Edom. And it's said in a lot of ways, with a lot of ways to explain it. You see, Orachti Neir LeMashichi, I mean, that's, I think, Morinayim brings down. It's just for him, it's a lot. In Morinayim brings down Orachti Neir LeMashichi. That the Orachti Neir, the candle, is LeMashichi going to Moshiach. LeMashichi, that Moshiach is coming. And then the lights of the menorah is Lemato Me'asor Tvachim. It's a place that's very down, very low. Shechina never went lower than Asor Tvachim, like the Gemara in Sukkah says. And the candles of the menorah, the candles of the Chanukah candles are lower than Asor Tvachim. Also, the time of lighting the Chanukah is the time of night, right? It's the time of night, and night is always, and even in Psukim, it's the Emunascha Baleilois, the Agid Baboiker Chazdecha, the Emunascha Baleilois, and the day when it's light, and you can see Boiker is like Levaker, to separate. You can see this is that. You can see difference between things. And then you have night, Erev. Erev is like Irbuv, a mixture. You can't differentiate, you can't see this is one thing, this is another thing. Everything is mixed up. And that by day, so it's Lehagid Baboiker Chazdecha, it's to sing and to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the chesed that he made. But by night, it's only Amunah. You need to believe, you need to trust, and you need to go on. And not always it's clear, not always you understand why. And the Bach, also in the Bach and the Tur and Ilchos Ma'ariv, I think Reish says something. He says over there that we say Goyle el oil mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei oil ma'avir yoim u'meivi loyla u'mavdil ben yoim u'vei loyla Hashem tzvakoyis shemoi. Explains the Bach. Explains what means Goyle el oil mipnei choshech. But there was a time of Geula, and you have a time from Golus. So oil with choshech, light and darkness, is exile with redemption. That means oil with choshech, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is goylel. He's turning it from oil to choshech, and from choshech to oil. He's ma'avir yoim, he's moving out the day, u'meivi loyla, and bringing night. Hashem tzvako is shemoi, and we continue and we say, Keil chai v'kayam tamid yimloich aleinu la'olam vod. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always ruling upon us, even day and even night, and every situation that we're living and going through. And that's Bach, yeah? Bach is saying it like a pshat in the, what we say every day in Maya. So you have this thing as a time of night, is a time of Godless. And even in that time, this Chanukah candles are coming in the time of the beginning of the night, the first half hour, and then you light the menorah. And you see, everything is built also, and we have Shash Sakana, and the Gemara says, Adekal Yerigle Talmudoy. Until what's this time from half an hour? Adekal Yerigle Talmudoy. The people stopping to walk in the streets, in the market, people that coming to buy. The Gemara calls it Kal Yerigle Talmudoy. So Pshat means because in that place where the Gemara was talking about the people that was coming to sell, and this market was people that came from a place that's called Talmud. Like you see also the Gemara in Shabbos brings down this place that's called Talmud. It was a place, it was called Talmud. So at the Kalya Rigle the Talmud, but the Remez is like Sfasemes brings down, and lots from the Sfarim bring down, it's Rigle the Talmud. The Talmudim, that's a nation that came from that place, Talmud. We know we meet them more places. One of the questions that guy asked Hillel Azake Friday afternoon when he took him out from the shower again and again was one of the questions was Mipreima eineim shel Talmudim trutois. Why are the eyes of the Talmudi people around? That's one shot in Rashi over there. And the eyes was different than normal, or maybe very small. Like the Chinese, it was like small eyes. So there was one shot in Rashi big. The Talmud, so why do eyes look like that? So the Gemara answers, Hillel Azaken tells them the answer, because they live in places where there's a lot of sand, so the sand shouldn't go into the eyes, so that's why maybe the eyes are small. So in the Maharsha, he explains that what's going on over there between this this man coming Friday afternoon and Hillel Azaken, and it's also Remazim. Why are the Pavlim like this, and why are the Talmud like this, and why it's around, and all the questions over there. And how the Sfarim explain, the question about the Talmudim is why the Talmudi people are so, the eyes is not right, they look on the world in a wrong way. The eyes are trutois. And the answer is, Mipnei Shedarim Bein HaChoylois. They live in sand. They live in choil, like Yom Choil, you have Shabbos Kodesh, Choil le'avdil bein choil and bein Kodesh. So I'm going bein HaChoylois, sand it's also choil and also Yom Choil, a day of choil, not Shabbos, that's the opposite of Kodesh. Gashmi is opposite of Kodesh. Chanukah candles come to stay at the Kalye Rigle de Talmudoeh. Not the head of the Talmudi that lives bein HaChoylois. Even his feet could come also to Kedusha and this candles of Chanukah. And this Chanukah candles could come to even Adekalya Rigle the Talmudoeh. Even the feet of the Talmudi, that he is a Ineim Truta because going bein HaChoylois, even he could come to Kedusha in these days of Chanukah. Okay, it's very nice, and I said now a lot of Chassidish about that they say over this idea. I want to show maybe that this idea that the connection between Chanukah as a preparing for the long winter days and the long nights, and that Chanukah candles gives us light in that days and the long nights, says in the past. The pshat is not mamash mefurish, but I believe from the Radak and the Malbim you could have this idea. There was a perik in Zechariah, and Trei Asar in Zechariah perik Tes. He says it's going to be Ye'ule for Klal Yisrael, and Ichrati Goyim Plishtim. Ki ato ro'isi ve'einoi. Because this I see it now in my eyes, says the Navi. He sees like the Geula coming, and he says, I see it in my eyes coming. Ki ato ro'isi ve'einoi. Then he goes on in Zechariah, Perik Tes, Pasuk Tes. Gili me'oid bas Tzion, hori'i bas Yerushalayim. He is calling to Bas Tzion and Bas Yerushalayim. It's like the two parts of Yerushalayim. There was the higher part, where they used to live more the high society, the Koyanim, the place of the Sanhedrin, the place of Beis Hamikdash, the mountain Tzion, that's the mountain in Yerushalayim. And you have Yerushalayim as the lower place, where the Hamoinam, the simple people used to live. So he's speaking to both of them. Also to the Bas Tzion, that the Geula and the Kedusha and the Beis Hamikdash is going to come back, and the Sanhedrin is going to come back, and also the people are going to come back to Yerushalayim. The simple people. Even though those are not Kohanim. Those people, if it's going to be a Beis Hamikdash, they will be happy. But if people are going to come back living in Eretz Yisrael, it's not so happy for them, because he's a Kohen, he needs Beis Hamikdash. So he's speaking to both of them. Also the ones that need Tzion, and also the ones that want Yerushalayim, coming back simple to live in Yerushalayim. Both of them be happy. Gili, Hori'i. Why? Hine Malkeich Yavoi Loch. Your king is coming to you, and who's your king? Moshiach, and he's going to be a tzaddik. V'noisha, who is going to be a tzaddik in his own life, and is going to be a noisha in his national life. Like I was going to run the nation, I was going to run the people, I was going to run his kingdom. Oni v'roichev al chamoir, and it's not going to be in full of gashmias and not with a nice car or all that things. It's going to be very simple. And roichev al chamoir, riding on a donkey. The al-ayir ben Asanis even is going to ride a young one. That was derech melachim. The kings used to ride on a young horse, a young donkey. No, he's going to be a ayir. It's going to be a ben Asanis. It's going to be a young donkey because everything is going to be in a way of pashtus. Very pashtus, very simple. Okay, and then now we're saying about the Geula. Veichrati rechev me'efraim. You're not going to need no rechev. Rechev is like today's time, the tanks, all that things that you need for war. Vesus Yerushalayim. Sus is sus muchan, or also is lemilchama. Right? That's the pasuk says sus muchan lemilchama. He says it's not going to be no horse in Yerushalayim. Venichres al keshes milchama. No more keshes, a hero. Vediber shalom nagoyim. And even he's not going to have. So maybe he's going to be very weak. He's going to be striking a bit if you're not going to have no war. And you say if you're going to close down, what's going to be? And after a few minutes, what's going to happen? He says no. V'diber shalom lagoyim. He will speak peace to all nations around, to all goyim. U'mashlai miyom ad yom, and he's going to rule from sea to sea. U'minor ad afseyaretz, from the river to the edge of the land. Okay? And Moshiach is going to rule the whole world. How it's going to come? What's going to be the power of Geula? Gam at. With what you're going to come out from golus? Bedan brisech. With the power of dam abris. The blood of bris. Shilachti asirayich, I'll send out your prisoners. Mi boir ein mein boir. From a boir ein mein boir, from a hole without water. Like Am Yisrael is today, in a hole without water and prison. And then we're going to go out from prison. Shilachti asirayich, bedan brisech. With the power of dam bris. Now, Rashi explained, most of the Mefarshim explained, dam bris means the power of bris milah. And there was a very interesting Ramban. Ramban is Pirush and Shir HaShirim. Ramban and Shir HaShirim, the end of Shir HaShirim. It brings down this psukim, and he says, you see over here, he says it's going to come a time that Rav Klal Yisrael, says Rav Klal Yisrael is where they're going to stop to be Mekayim Torah mitzvahs. He says years ago, 800 years ago. He says it's going to come a time that Rav Klal Yisrael are not going to be Mekayim Torah mitzvahs. He says, and one mitzvah is going to stay. The mitzvah of Bris Milah. That even the people that's going to be very far, they're going to be Mekayim Torah mitzvahs. They're going to be Mekayim the mitzvah of Bris Milah. And that comes the pasuk and says, Gam at bedam brisech shilachti asiraychem mi boirei ma'imrei. And the power of bris, of blood of bris, that they're going to be Mekayim. That's very interesting because the comment to say before that they're going to stop to be Mekayim Torah mitzvahs and one mitzvah is going to stay and that's bris, I believe that there was easier mitzvahs in Tanakh. Yeah, that mitzvah, the only mitzvah should stay. Maybe after it we could try to explain. Yeah, maybe an interesting idea is why that what happened. But the Ramban writes years before, 800 years before, 700 years before it started, this whole thing. And he writes, that's going to be, they're not going to be Rav Klal Yisrael, and not going to be Mekayim Torah mitzvahs. The mitzvah from Bris is going to stay. And the Geula is going to come in the power of Gam At, Bedam Brisech Shilachti Asirayich Miboirei Ma'imrei. That's the pshat of Ramban, and that's all Rashi goes, most Mefarshim go that the Dam Bris means Bris. The Malbim, as interesting, the Malbim says that Gam At Bedam Bris, it was Goyim that came with the idea that instead of doing Bris Milah, so to pour a bit of water, like a bit of water to pour on a person, and that's going to be instead of a bris. And he says that Gam At Bedam Briseh, that you didn't accept that idea that you could have a bit of water and that's going to be instead of a bris. That's going to be the Geshus of the Geula. I believe that you understand what the Malbim means. He says that's the idea of a bris. Okay, so Shuvu. Okay, that's the idea. The first of where we saw Nevuah about. The Geula Shlema, b'meheira, b'yameina, b'koroi, we're going to have this Geula. Shuvu levitzoroin, go back to your strength, go back to your koyach, to your power. Asirei atikva, prisoners of hope. Gam hayoim magid mishne oshiv loch. Even today, I'll give you something, a secondness. What do you mean over here? What the Navi means? It's very interesting because he comes and says like there was people that become prisoners of hope. What's prisoners of hope? You live sometimes in a world and you say, okay, I could go on. is not there, this situation is not going to be on, this work is not coming back, this friendship is not coming back. There's a lot of things in life that it sounds that it's finished, it's end, it's done, no way to bring it back. And a person sometimes becomes a prisoner of hope. The hope that, maybe it's going to come back, maybe something is going to happen, maybe he's going to wake up in the morning and think things over, and maybe he's going to come back, and that makes him a prisoner that he doesn't go on. He stays stuck, he doesn't take on the work, he doesn't change his situation because maybe it's going to happen. Yeah, but in life, in all parts of life, the whole time, most people don't have too much hope. But the whiz, sometimes that the hope is like handcuffs that's tying up a people, that's a man, and not letting him to go on. He says, you look at Klal Yisrael, and you see they look like a Sirei Atikva. If Am Yisrael was accepting the idea, okay, that's it, we're in golus, no more geula, it doesn't look like we're going to come back. I mean, until a few years ago, also no one wouldn't believe if you say that, Klal Yisrael will go back to Eretz Yisrael and be a few million Yidden living in Eretz Yisrael, yeah? No one wouldn't believe it. And so for what to wait? Waiting 1,500 years. 1,700 years you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's disturbing you. Instead of connecting to everyone, becoming like everyone, this living in Prague and Warsaw and Vilna, and believing and praying and davening the whole time for Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim. It's disturbing you. It's disturbing the goyim around you. It's making you problems. Stop believing in this story and the fairy tales and go on. Build your life over here. Build your life where you're living today, and this hope is making you into a prisoner. This Asirei Atikva. And for thousands of years, this hope is making you into a Asir. It's putting you in jail. And he says, so it's going to be very hard in this long golus of Edom to be Asirei Atikva. And it's sometimes the hope becomes your biggest problem in life. That's disturbing you from going on. That's disturbing you to be Matzliach. So he says, what do you do? Shuvu lebitzorim. Go back to your strength, Asirei Atikva. I'll give you something that's going to give you the power to go on in this long golus. Gam hayoim, even today, magid mishne oshivloch. I'll give you something, a smallness, like Mishnah. Yeah, you have the Rosh, is the head, and you have the second in command. The Mishnah is like a Mishnah Lemelech, yeah. So you have Magid Mishnah, like a Mishnah Nevuah, Oshivloch. And then goes the Nevuah and the Yeshua from Chashmonaim. Ki dorachti li Yehuda Koshes. I made Yehuda into my hero, into the Keshes. That they're going to be the Keshes. Keshes mileisi Ephraim. Ve'oiralti vonaich Tzion al bonaich Yavon. I'll wake up the people of Tzion, the sons of Tzion, al bonaich Yavon and Yavon, the samtich kecher of Gibor. And Rashi explains, it's going to come a king, and the name is going to be Antiochus, and he's going to rule on Am Yisrael, and he's going to make them a lot of tzares, and then they're going to come Bnei Chashmoinoi and fight against them, and oiralti bonaich Tzion al bonaich Yavon. And then Klal Yisrael is going to wake up. There's a verse, a lot of interesting diukim, that it's ve'oiralti, they like the keshes. But you have the bow, that's going out, the bow and arrow, you have it's like coming out, you have the bow and arrow, so you have two parts of it. You have the dorachti liyehuda keshes, you have the keshes, and you have the chetz. And they're going to be the chetz. They need to be the chetz. It's not standing inside and waiting a Kadosh Baruch Hu to do the nest. They need to be the nest. Omadeto lohem be'eis tzarosam. It's they tzara, they have over tzara. Ravda es rivam. You fight this fight because it was their fight. Rivam, it was a fight that it was their fight. It was then Ravda. Nokamto, it was their revenge. Es nikmasam. Then Mosarata Gibayim. So over here, Dorach Kadosh Baruch Hu is pulling the keshes, but the chetz is there. How they going to act? That's going to be the keshes. V'Hashem aleim yeiroi. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to show up. And then the Yotzok Barok Chitza, and then it's going to come the Chetz, like Barok coming out. The Hashem Elokim Bashoifor Yitka, the Olach Besar Yisleimon, Hashem Tzevokois Yogein Aleim. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to, that's what we say also in the Shoiforos, in the Rosh Hashanah, and then he says Hashem Tzevokois Yogein Aleim, Ve'ochlu, Ve'chov Shu Avnei Kela. They're not going to need to work too hard. It's going to be like they're going to eat food. And v'chav shu avnei kela is going to be like throwing gigantic stones. V'shasu, they're going to drink. Hamu k'mayoyin, Umalu kamizrach, it's going to be filling up a mizrach of blood. Kezovios mizbeach. They're not going to need to work too much. It's going to happen with they eating and drinking, not working hard at all, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to help them. After they're going to have the first Mesirus Nefesh. That's the nes of Chanukah coming. And V'yishiyam Hashem Elokeim b'yoyim hahu ketzoin amoy ki avnei nezer misnoises l'shalom. Masa HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to help them like a tzoin. Ki avnei nezer is the stones that you have the choishen of the koyanim, the avnei choishen. Misnois ki ma tuvo yom hayofyoi dogon bachurim v'tiroi shelei v'psulois. The Malbim has an interesting pshat over. He says that this it's going like they're going to feel in that time that there's no need for this diamonds or this stones that cost a lot of money, because it's going to be Dagon and Tirosh, that's going to be the most happiness in the world. Because today, people, because of competition and a lot of ways, it becomes that there is things that's worth more in the world, and people is running after the whole time. Says, but if you look in life, a very simple way, and that's going to be the way that Am Yisrael is going to come in that time to look at the life, and it's going to be Dagon, Yenoiv, Bachurim. Bachurim are going to be happy with Grun. You have the Tirosh, Yenoiv, a bit of wine. That's going to be the most happiness, because all the things it's more than food and more than plain Dagon, is not really something that makes happy a person. It's only because what's happening, the competition and the fighting in the world, that makes it worth a lot of money. And then it's going to come a time that Avnei Nezer misnoises al masay. Someone's going to look around the world and say, there was tomatoes, there was cucumbers, there was fruit, there was oranges. That's Avnei Nezer. That's diamonds. That's expensive. And all the other things, nice. Oh, okay. It's not worth fighting for it. It's not really something important. And that's going to be a time that there's going to be a change in the world. That's the idea. Shalom Hashem. Not that it goes on the psukim over here, but you see on this psukim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Klal Yisrael, you're going to have a big geula. It's going to be a Mashiach is going to come. Malki Chiyov Eiloch Tzadik v'Noi Shehu Oni v'Roichav al Chamor v'Alayir ben Asaynis. And it's Bedam Brisich. It's going to come. But Gam Hayoim Magid Mishne Oshivloch. Even today you'll see a small nest, and this nest is going to give you the power to go on in this long golus. Gam hayoim magid mishne ki dorachti liYehuda keshes mileisi Ephraim v'irarti bonaich Tzion al bonaich Yovan. This is interesting to see it in the pasuk. There is also, it says this idea, you can see in the Maharsha. There is a story in the Gemara in Avodah Zarah, Yud Zayin, Yud Ches. The Gemara tells us about Reb Chanine ben Tradion. Reb Chanine ben Tradion, one of the Harugei Malchus, that the Romans burned him with the Sefer Torah. They asked him, why are you learning Torah, even that there was the Gzeira not to learn Torah. Omar leu, Kasher tzivani Hashem Elokai. Kasher tzivani Hashem Elokai. מיד גוזרו עליו לשריפה ועל אשתו להריגה ועל ביתוי לישב בקובה של זוינס. Right? He was burnt, his wife was killed, and his daughter, Leisha Bekuba Shel Zaynet, he took her to Rome. And the Gemara says the whole story with Rabbi Yisrael Kisma, went to meet him. That was they came back from the Levaya for Rabbi Yisrael Kisma. Yeah, the Stipler writes about it in Chayolam, how it goes. He says, Tanu Rabban, Kshechol Rabbi Yisrael Kisma. Rabbi Yisrael Kisma was sick. Olach Reb Chanine ben Tradion Levakroi. Metzvah Bikol Choylim. Omar Loi, tells him Rabbi Yisrael Kisma, Chanine Ochi. They gave her the power from heaven. The sofa is Echoloi, the Holga is Chasidov, the Ibda is Tuvov, the Adaini Kayemes. So why you fighting with him? Why is the Anishamati Olecho Shato Yoishev, the Oisek Bateru Makil Kehilois Borabim, the Sefer Munach Lecho Becheikcho. So you see, from heaven they gave them the power to do everything. And you coming and you're fighting with them, you're going with the Sefer Torah, and Makil Kehilo is Borabim, you're going to fight with them. And that it tells them, Omar Loi min hashamayim yerachem. Min hashamayim yerachem. So he says, Omar Loi, ani oimer l'chadvom shel tam, ve'at oimer min hashamayim yerachem. Tomei anim lo yisrafu oischo ve'sefer Torah be'esh. Then it's going to be, they're going to burn you together with the Sefer Torah. Omar Loi, Rabbi, ma ani lecha yo'il mabo. Agnav il mabo? Omar Loi, klum maisa bo le'yolcha. You did what's a maisa, a good maisa. Omar Loi, moi shel Purim nischalfu li b'moi shel tzedakah, v'chilaktim le'anim. Yeah, once the wallet was mixed money of tzedakah with my own money that was for Purim, and I gave it all to Ani because I didn't know what's. If that's what you did, okay. That's very interesting. Yeah. See what's he's learning Torah Barabim, and he asked the question if Mani Loilam Abo. And he needs another Maisa, something else, not this Maisa, something else, another Maisa. And after, he had once mixed up money of tzedakah with money of Purim. Sounds strange. Sounds. There was a Baruch Shimon Schnelson has a very nice chat about it. Or Chibina Rosh Hashiva. He says there was a lot of time. You see the Gemara in Pesachim. It says that there was a Tudas Ish Roimi that gave people to eat. Gedi mekulas leilei Pesachim. Leilei Pesach, gedi mekulas. Exactly like you do the Korban Pesach. You know, with the Rimoin and everything, and he did the same thing in Rome, and he gave people to eat. And the Gemara says that there was a chashash that is going to come to be maybe to eat kochim bachutz. People is going to think it's kochim, and now they're going to eat kochim bachutz. You machshel people. The Gemara says, "Tu das ish roimi." Was a gavre rabbe? Was a adam gadol? It was a balik groifim. A balik groifim. So the Gemara says the Gemara brings a raya from the story from the Zut Dorash tu das ish roimi that Tzfardim went into the fire because they learned the kal v'chomer. Hanani Mishal v'Azar learned the kal v'chomer from the Tzfardim, and then the Gemara says, "Oyamatil melai lekis shel talmidei chachamim." So he explains what's the story with Tudas Yishroimi. There was Balik Roifim, and there was Gavri Rabbi. There was someone that he thinks what he's doing. He took everything into the calculation, and he says, I know it's dangerous a bit that people is going to think it's going to be Kochim Bachutz, but it's worth that people should have the feeling of Korban Pesach. That's a Gavri Rabbi. There was sometimes someone is a Balik Roifim. What is Balik Roifim? It goes straight to the hands. He doesn't think. He doesn't stop to think what he's doing. It's straight boxing. It's straight to the hands as goes. And the question is, Tudas Yishroimi, was a Gavre Rabbe? He thought about it and he decided that's what he's supposed to do, or he didn't think too much. Now don't try to think what a fool is thinking, he never doesn't think. So it's it's about like Roifim. He has no idea why he did it. And that's the Gemara says, you could see how he spoke about the Tzfardim and Hanan and Mishal Ba'azariah, that even you're not mechuyav, you jump into the fire. So you see that was his anoga. And another thing, Matil Melai Lekis Shel Talmidei Chachamim. He gave money to Talmidei Chachamim. And a lot of the people that it goes by them about like Roifim, so they're very wild, but it stops on one thing, it stops at a pocket. By the wallet, it never goes on the wildness. It comes to there, it stops. So he has a lot of ideas how to jump into the fire and to give everybody to eat korbanos. Yeah, but to pay for it, no, that's not. Over there it stops. So he says, but it came even to the money. He gave money to the Chacham, so it's real. It's not only ideas from screaming out, he means it really. And also, he says, you're going in the street with a Sefer Torah against the Romans. There's going to be a gzeira that you're not allowed to learn, and he's going to learn in the middle of the street with a Sefer Torah in the street. Maybe you're a Balav. You're a wild person. You don't think what you're doing. It's wildness. You're ma'abedatz me'lodas. It's nothing. So he says, tell me about money. How are you in money? In money also. He gives money to, it's mixed up the Moshe and Purim, Moshe and Tzedakah. Also over there is sharp. Also over there is strong. Okay, let's go on. You see, they came back from the Levaya from Rabbi Yosef Kisne. Alchu kol gdoilei roimi. To the Levaya from Rabbi Yosef Kisne, lekovoi is pidur espet gadol. A lot of covet for the Rabbani that's died, he loved very much. Ubechazarasan, they found Reb Chanina ben Tradioin, Yoshev Oisik Batero, Makil Keles Barabim, Vesever Torah Munach Vecharikoi, Eviuhu. Ukrachu besefer Torah veikifu bechavlei zmoros veitzisu bo'en esau, and they burned them together with the Sefer Torah. And the Gemara tells us this. What was with the clan Sterini? Then the Gemara goes on that Bruye, the wife of Reb Meir, was a daughter of Reb Chanina ben Tradioin, and she was very ashamed that her sister is sitting in a kuba shel zaynos. Her sister is over there. So he says she asked Reb Meir that he should go to save her, and Reb Meir said, "I'll go." He took with him a tarke with the dinre, a whole amount of money, and he says, if she didn't do Aveira, I could do for her nest and save her. But if she did Aveiras, I can't help her. And he's going there, he comes to this the sister of his wife, that's sitting over there, and he asked her there, so he said, and I understood that she never didn't do it every time she had excuses. There was nicer than me, go to them. She didn't do Avera. He went to the Shomer, to the guard, the keeper over there, and he gave him give me this girl. And he said, no, I'm afraid from the kingdom. Take the money. Half is for you, and half is for Shoichad. Yeah? The old cheater. There's a palge level, noch a palge for Shoichad. It's going to finish what I'm going to need more money, what I'm going to do. Say this words, Elokah de Meir Aneni. Hashem of Elokah, the Elokim of Meir Aneni. And that's going to save you. Yeah, it's like you buy a parachute and you have a guarantee that if you're going to jump from the plane, it's not going to open, you could come and you give back the money. If you could come there. So it's, you can tell me, yeah, I'll scream at and yeah, then I'll look for you. Search after you. No, you can see now, that works. There was Chanukah, there was dogs over there, people shock al college, although we friend them like a bit of earth, a stone. And because of the Mechler, they came to eat him up. Omar Elokah de Meir Aneni, he says, Elokah de Meir Aneni, Shavkua, they left him. Okay, he gave it this sister. Yeah, they catched him, they wanted to hang him. Omar Elokah de Meir Aneni, Achsua, so he went down, he was saved. And then goes on the story with Rav Meir, how Rav Meir, they tried to catch him, and he was going in the street over there, with the fingers, and to the food from the goyim and licked a lot of finger and all the stories, and then escaped to Babel. But the Maharsha asks, what's Elokah de Meir Aneni? You see, even Yitzchak Avinu, Yaakov Avinu says, Pachad Yitzchak. He doesn't say Elokei Yitzchak. Why? Because Ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Koirei Shmoi al Tzadikim B'chayayim, Hein B'kdoishav Lo Yamin. Even in the holy people, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't believe in them. Everything could change. So our Reb Meir says on himself, Elokah de Meir Aneni. Says the Maharsha. And Moiradik says the Maharsha. What's Elokah de Meir Aneni? Says one pshat is Elokah de Meir, Meir le'oretz v'ladorim, he lightens up the world. Elokah de Meir le'Yisrael. The second pshat, Elokah de Meir le'Yisrael v'yemei Yevonim, כמו שאומר הפייט, מיyor lecha Meir, hu ya'aneni. It means, every Yid, and even a Goy, that's in a tzoreh, and he needs something to get rid of it, he could say, Hashem that did Nisim for the Chashmonaim and did Nisim at the time of Yavan, Elokah de Meir Aneni. And it's going to help him. Even a guy. You see, a Roman soldier, yeah? But he's going to say the word, he's going to remind himself, and he's going to remind him Tefillah. The nest of the Hatzalah from Chanukah is going to give him the power to stand and cleanse golus Edom. And the power of golus Edom, we're speaking about Rome, Elokah de Meir Aneni. It's a Moiradik pshat, and it has nothing to do also with Chanukah. It's the whole year. And every time in the year, if you remember the nest of Chanukah, Elokah de Meir le'Yisrael b'mei Yevonim, Aneni, that's what gives the Koyach HaYeshua. And I see you could go on and to explain what's really the kesher between the golus Edom and golus Yavan. Rav Moshe Shapira is very nice about it. He says that, in one word, he says that Edom is not really a golus we were supposed to go through. Because the minute that we went through golus Yavan, it was supposed to be the end. And the golus Edom came because of us, because we called Urkanas and Arishtabulas, the two brothers from Beis Hashmoinoi that was fighting, who's going to rule on the Beis Hamikdash. We called Rome in to make peace, and Rome never makes peace. And so we called Rome in to make peace, so they took over, and from them we on the golus Edom. And that's why the Hoidoeh, Hallel v'Hoidoeh from Chanukah, to know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs everything, and not the call to help for Rome, not to call to help for that people only, to call to help only for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that gives us the power of going out from golus Edom. But there is, it's really a lot to speak about it. I'll stop over here.
Yeah.
Still